Hi, it's Madeline Short from Soul Crushed Dispirited, and I wanted to ask you this question. If you're a leader in an organisation, is it possible for your people to operate in full integrity with their soul's voice? And what would happen if they did? It's an interesting question because I've worked with senior leaders and executive teams in large organisations here in Australia and globally for many years now. And most of the leaders I work with genuinely want to perform well, and they genuinely want their people and their organisations to perform well. And they also genuinely want to do it in a way that's good for those people as well as for the organisation. And yet somehow there seems to be a gap here when it comes to really having the confidence to even imagine this question. So by soul's voice, I mean this deepest sense of who I am as a human being. And if I'm operating in integrity with my soul's voice, I have total values alignment with what I do. I am not compromising every day between my actions that I need to take and what my true north is. And it can almost seem like a pipe dream to have everybody operating this way. It sounds like one of those pie in the sky ideas that's all very great to talk about in theory, but it's not how things operate in the real world. But when an individual is disconnected from their soul's voice, a few things happen. They tend to think short term because they're prioritising avoiding these near future risks rather than having the courage of conviction that comes from that connection to enable them to think long term and prioritise moving towards what really matters. Because they're lacking that true north, or because it's become occluded and clouded, they tend to become very overloaded and unable to distinguish between what is truly important and what is merely urgent. And they feel a deep unhappiness. They feel this yearning to reconnect with their soul's voice. People might not necessarily use my terminology, but it is a very human condition, that sense of sadness that comes from operating in a way that is not in alignment with who you truly are. And so in an organisation, do we want people that feel deeply unhappy, that are overloaded, and that are prioritising averting what's ever right in front of them rather than going for the strategic goals? I don't think so. I think in your organisation what you want is people who are lit up from within with a genuine passion and purpose, who can distinguish between something that's popping up right now that doesn't really matter and something that really does, and who can focus on the things that matter rather than being distracted by all the bright things that might occur in the meantime. And yet we fear, I think, that if people were to connect in that deep way with their soul's voice at work, that they might leave, that being connected with your soul's voice is somehow incompatible with work. And that's the question I really want to challenge you with, because if that's what you believe, that you need to have your people disconnected from their soul's voice in order for your organisation to progress, something's gone very seriously wrong there. And I really want to encourage you to reflect on how different your organisation might be if you allowed and encouraged and accepted no less than pure integrity from the people that you have working with you and for you. That's me for now, something to think about. I'm Madeline Short from Soul Crushed Dispirited, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and my website from soulcrusheddispirited.com. Thanks. Bye.